Hello, welcome to the Safe Sleep portion of your virtual maternity fair. My name is Heather Bonilla and I'm a home visitor with the New Parent Support Program on Fort Bragg. Before we jump into the very important topic of safe sleep in the context of how to reduce the risk of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS, I'm going to provide you with a quick overview of the New Parent Support Program. The New Parent Support Program is a free program that is available to all military families, regardless of your branch. It's also available to our retired service members, National Guard, the Reserves, and our DoD employees. You are eligible for this program if you're expecting a baby or if you have a child in your home who is under the age of 36 months. This program is designed to help enhance parent and infant attachment, to increase knowledge of child development, to provide connections and supportive services in the community, and to answer any questions that you may have about your little one. The New Parent Support Program home visitors consist of licensed clinical social workers and registered nurses, and we provide supportive services to you. The New Parent Support Program home visitors consist of licensed clinical social workers and registered nurses. You do not have to be first-time parents to participate in the New Parent Support Program. Anything you share with your New Parent Support Program home visitor is confidential, with one important exception. As licensed professionals, the New Parent Support Program home visitors have a duty to warn if they believe that you are a harm to yourself, to others, or there's any evidence of child maltreatment. If a report is made, your family will be assessed, and if necessary, services will be provided to protect your child and help strengthen your family. We are currently offering visitation in a variety of ways. We are offering telephone visits, video visits, and social distance visits in order to provide your families with safe options for participation. If you are interested in participating in visitation services, you may call our main number at 910-396-7951 and request a home visitor. In addition to our home visitation program, we are also offering a virtual storytime and craft called We Won Storytime Adventure with Miss Mac. This will be held on our Facebook Live, so if you're interested in participating, you need to go on Facebook and like the New Parent Support Program Facebook page. Even though the event will be held live, you'll be able to see this event once it has aired at any time that is convenient for you and your little ones. As I mentioned during my introduction, we're going to be discussing safe sleep in the context of how to reduce the risk of SIDS. Some of you may have heard the term SIDS before, and this may be a new term for some of you. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, sudden infant death syndrome is the sudden, unexplained death of an infant younger than 1 year. SIDS is the leading cause of death in infants between ages 1 month and 4 months of age. This is a super scary and uncomfortable topic for most people, but it's really important for you to understand that there are things that you as parents can do now, before your baby comes home, and after your baby comes home, to ensure that they have the safest sleep space possible. Before I talk about the tips that you can do before and after, I'm going to introduce you to our new parent, Natasha. You can see that she's standing behind me at her baby's crib. Welcome, Natasha. Natasha has been participating in the New Parent Support Program and has had a home visitor. At their last home visit, they discussed tips and tricks that she can do to ensure that her baby has the safest sleep space possible. As you can see, Miss Natasha has set up her baby's room ahead of time so that she can be prepared for when the baby comes home. Before we talk about the things that Miss Natasha can do to ensure that her baby's sleep space is the safest possible, I would like you to take a moment and look at what she has set up. So as Miss Natasha is looking around her sleep space, she's remembering some of the tips that her home visitor discussed. The first thing she discussed was that her crib or bassinet would need to have a firm mattress and a fitted sheet. You want to ensure that the mattress that you use is the correct size for your crib or your bassinet. If you are using a crib, you want to ensure that your crib mattress is on the infant side facing up. Most crib mattresses have two sides, one for your infant and one that can be transitioned for your baby when they become a toddler. The second thing Miss Natasha remembered that her home visitor said was that there should not be anything extra in the baby's sleep space. This would include pillows, a quilt, any kind of bumper pads, or stuffed toys. All of these items can trap or suffocate or strangle your baby. Another thing she remembered was to make sure that there was nothing in her baby's crib space that had cords or anything that could fall into the baby's crib space. The other thing she remembered was to ensure that the crib is placed away from the window if possible, so that there are no blind cords hanging down into the crib space. All right, the third thing that she remembered was that you want to make sure that your baby's room is not too hot. She remembered that her home visitor said that one of the things mentioned is that the ideal temperature would be between 68 and 72. A room that is too hot can increase the risk for SIDS. Another thing she remembered was that it would be a great idea to have either a ceiling fan or some type of other fan in the baby's room to keep the air circulating, as that has also been shown to help reduce the risk of SIDS. As she's thinking, she remembered one other thing that the home visitor said, and that was to not use or buy products that claim to reduce the risk of SIDS. This would include wedges, positioners, any type of special mattress or breathing monitor. Those things are not necessarily the most safe items, as they can actually malfunction and could be more dangerous for your baby. The fifth thing that she remembered is to keep your car and home smoke-free at all times. Breathing secondhand smoke during and after pregnancy can increase the risk of SIDS. It is also important to keep other types of smoke out of your baby's sleep space. That would include candle smoke. So it's important to keep that out of the baby's room if at all possible. So let's think back. The 5 things that her home visitor mentioned that she can do ahead of time is to ensure that the baby has a crib and bassinet with a firm mattress and a fitted sheet, that there's nothing extra in the baby's bed to include pillows, quilts, comforters, sheepskins, bumper pads, stuffed toys, nothing extra. You want to ensure that the baby's room does not become too hot. You don't want to buy products that claim to reduce the risk of SIDS, and you need to keep your car and your home smoke-free at all times. Congratulations are in order. Natasha has had her new baby, Kendall. Now that she is home with the baby, she is remembering some of the actions that her home visitor mentioned that she can do now that she's home in order to help keep the baby safe during her sleep time. The first thing she remembered was that the home visitor said that she should not dress her baby in more than one more layer than she herself would wear. This would mean you would not want to keep your baby in a lot of extra clothing or have extra blankets. If your baby is too hot, they may be sweating, and this increases their risk of SIDS. A lightweight sleep sack is a really great option to help keep your baby safe. It's also important to note that your baby will not need to wear a hat in your home unless you keep your home very cool. One of the ways that you can tell if your baby is maintaining a proper temperature throughout the night is when your baby wakes up, feel the back of their neck. If the back of their neck is dry, it means they have maintained a comfortable temperature and they're not overheating. If your baby wakes up sweaty, especially in their little elbows or behind their knees, this is an indication that they're too hot while they're sleeping, and you need to help them out by providing them with a lighter weight sleep sack or reducing the temperature in the room. So when you're choosing a sleep sack, you want to make sure that the sleep sack is the proper size for your infant and that it is not oversized, so to avoid any kind of extra bunching up around your baby's face. The second thing that Natasha remembered was that the home visitor said that she could provide her baby with a clean, dry pacifier at night or during nap time in order to help reduce the risk of SIDS. The other thing she remembered was that the pacifier should not be attached to her baby's clothes and should not have a stuffed animal attached to the pacifier, as that can be introducing a suffocation hazard into your baby's sleep space. The third thing that Miss Natasha remembered was that baby should be placed on her back for every night and every nap. If your baby is strong enough to roll over, you do not need to wake up and move your baby back onto their back. The fourth thing that Miss Natasha remembered is that baby should be alone in the crib. And that means not only having no stuffed animals or extra blankets or anything extra, that means alone with no other people, to include the parents. Your baby should also never sleep on a grown-up bed, on a couch, on a futon, or any other surface that is not rated for long-term sleep for babies. This would include their car seat, any upright swings or bouncers, and anything that would allow baby's head to kind of fall forward onto their chest. Those are not approved for long-term sleep. So it's important to remember that baby needs to be on their back, flat, for every nap and every night. The last thing that Miss Natasha remembered the home visitor discussing was that it's super important to breastfeed for as long as possible. If you're unable to breastfeed, you also have some other options. You can pump, or you can also utilize human milk from the human milk bank. If you choose to go with this option, it's really important to ensure that the milk bank that you choose is certified. So let's review. The 5 things that Miss Natasha can do now that the baby is home is: number 1, dress your baby in no more than 1 layer than you would wear. Number 2, give your baby a clean, dry pacifier at night. Number 3, baby should be placed on their back for every nap and every night. And your baby should sleep alone in their crib with no one else and nothing else. And breastfeed if you can for as long as possible. Before our time is over, I'm going to discuss 2 more items that sometimes I get questions about from parents. The first one is, won't my baby get a flat head from lying on her back all of the time? The answer to this is that you don't want to leave your baby on their back all day, every day. They primarily should be on their back for nap time and nighttime. During the day, you need to provide your baby with ample time on their tummy. Tummy time is super important as this helps develop their shoulder and neck muscles. Tummy time should always be supervised by an adult and should always be on a safe surface, such as a sleep mat or a very thin blanket on the floor. The very earliest form of tummy time can actually occur skin to skin with mom or dad and the baby on your chest so that the baby can look up into your face. This is really important for bonding and attachment as well. The other question I get is, won't my baby choke if she is laying on her back at night? The answer to that question is, your baby is not more likely to choke when on their back compared to being on their stomach. When a baby spits up, they will swallow the spit up or it will dribble out of their mouth. When a baby is lying on their back, the food pipe is below the air pipe, so gravity helps keep the spit up out of their air pipe and out of their lungs. In conclusion, during our time together, we discussed safe sleep in the context of how to reduce the risk of SIDS. We discussed actions that you can do before baby and some actions you can do after baby. We also discussed the importance of tummy time, how to avoid flat spots, and that your baby is not more likely to choke if they're laying on their back. If you would like more information regarding safe sleep, you can go to www.healthychildren.org or www.cdc.org. Also, if you are interested in having a home visitor, you can call us at 910-396-7951. Thank you so much, and congratulations on all of your new babies.